My sister announced her engagement at my dad's funeral, right next to the casket. She stood there, ring in the air, tears freshly dabbed, and said, "At least something good is happening this week." Everyone clapped. I stood there holding the damn eulogy. That's when I decided, if they won't treat me like family in grief, I'll treat them like strangers in joy. My name's Dean. I'm 33 now, married and settled. But for most of my life, I've been the family joke. Not black sheep. That implies rebellion. I was more like the unused chair at Thanksgiving. Present, but unnecessary. I have 3 siblings, Kip, Jasper, and Delia. All older, all insufferably tight-knit, born within 4 years of each other. Then me, a 7-year later surprise. Or as my mother once whispered after too many, mimosas, the birth control fluke. Nice. They weren't cruel in the cartoon villain sense. No wedgies or head dunks. Their weapon of choice? Exclusion. Sophisticated, casual, practiced. Family trips planned while I was at camp. Group chats I wasn't added to. They'd joke about memories from before I was born and laugh if I asked. I begged to be included. I worshipped them like a dog left outside in winter. I brought Kip coffee when he was cramming for his bar exam. Helped Jasper move across states. Tried to bond with Delia over her awful slam poetry. Then came the weddings. 3 of them. 3 golden, overpriced ceremonies. 3 invitations that never came. Kip was first. I was 16 and stupidly hopeful. He said it was a classy adult event. He called me buddy, as he told me to stay home. I still bought a tie. Then Jasper. I was 19. Fully adult, legally, but apparently still too young acting for his Napa Valley wine and harp ensemble nightmare of a wedding. He said I'd make his wife's family uncomfortable. Delia was worst. I was 24. Already had my own apartment and job. She said the venue had a capacity limit, but I saw photos on Instagram of her college roommate's cat at the reception. A literal cat got my spot. That was the moment I checked out. I stopped answering calls. Stopped coming to family dinners. If they noticed, they didn't say. Years passed. I met someone. Her name was Lila. And she saw me. Like really saw me. One night I broke down and told her everything. The frozen dinners while my siblings toured Italy, the empty mailbox while they RSVP'd each other's wedding invites. She stared at me, furious. "Dean, why are you still chasing them?" I didn't have an answer. So when we got engaged 2 years later, I didn't hesitate. Our wedding would be simple, beautiful, and completely sibling-free. I didn't announce it, didn't post a dramatic statement. I just mailed the invites, none of which bore their names. A week passed, then 2, quiet, peaceful, until Mom called. She opened with fake sweetness. "Hi, honey. Just checking. Did the invitations get sent out? Your siblings are wondering." I said, "Yeah, sent them last week." Silence. Then colder. "Well, they didn't get one," I breathed in. "That's because I didn't send them one." Pause. "What?" "They're not invited, Mom." She gasped like I'd confessed to arson. "Dean, that's your family." "They didn't invite me to their weddings." "That was different. You were younger." I was 24 at Delia's. Her voice trembled with manufactured outrage. "This is petty. Family is family." "No," I said calmly. "Family shows up." They didn't. She hung up. Classic. Next day, Delia texted me. "Hey, bro, heard you're getting married. Did the invite get lost?" I left her on read. Then Kip emailed. Like an actual email. "It's concerning to hear you're intentionally excluding us. We should talk." I didn't reply. "Jasper?" He called Lila. She let it ring. My phone exploded with passive-aggressive messages. "Blood doesn't evaporate, Dean. Hope your wedding has space for your real family." And my favorite, from Delia. "You'll regret this when no one comes. But people did come. Real people. Chosen family. Friends who stood by me when my appendix burst and no one from my family visited. The hospital. Colleagues who came to my art shows. Lila's folks who cried when I called them Mom and Dad at the rehearsal dinner. 2 weeks before the wedding, Kip tried one last time. He showed up at my job. My job. He waited in the parking lot in a Tesla and waved like we were childhood pals. Walked right past him. Later, I found a note tucked under my windshield wiper. It read, "We forgive you. Just send the invite." I laughed. Out loud. Alone in my car. The entitlement practically screamed from the ink. No apology, no acknowledgement, just, "We forgive you." I ripped it up because I wasn't the one who needed forgiveness. They were, and now, for once, they were the ones left out in the cold. The note under my windshield should have been the end of it. But my siblings don't handle silence well. They'd spent years crafting a narrative where I was the odd one out. Weird little Dean who always made things awkward. So me finally taking control? That shattered the illusion. And when narcissists lose their grip on the narrative, they go nuclear. 3 days after Kip's creepy parking lot stunt, it started. The social media campaign. Delia posted first. Of course she did. A soft, filtered selfie with mascara tears, and the caption, "Nothing hurts like family shutting you out, especially without explanation. Love harder, y'all." The comments exploded with sympathy. "Stay strong, queen. So sorry you're going through this." One girl even offered to start a GoFundMe for her emotional healing. I didn't respond. Then Jasper joined in, uploading an old photo of the four of us as kids, me in a stroller, with a lengthy caption. "Some wounds don't bleed, but they scar. I hope he finds peace." He didn't even tag me. Just let the gossip swarm like flies to sugar. Kip, not to be outdone, shared a screenshot of our email thread with my name blacked out and the words, "Some people choose division. I choose grace." Grace? This man once told me I smelled like failure because I didn't go to law school. My phone lit up like Times Square at midnight. Friends messaged me asking if I was okay. A distant cousin from Oregon I hadn't spoken to since puberty asked, "What happened?" Lila was furious. She started writing a response post, ready to blast them with truth, but I stopped her. "Let them scream into the void," I said. "I'm done playing the family scapegoat," but the void wasn't enough for them. Next, they pulled the nuclear card. Mom. She showed up at our apartment unannounced. Again. Hair frazzled, eyes watery, wearing a cardigan that screamed, "I come bearing guilt." I opened the door. She barreled, in like she'd paid rent. "Dean, I can't sleep. I'm sick over this. What are you doing to your siblings?" "To my siblings?" I asked. "They blocked me from 3 weddings. I sent 1 non-invite and suddenly I'm Cain and they're Abel?" She actually gasped. "Don't be dramatic," she snapped. "You're punishing them for being adults. You were younger." "No, I was invisible. And now they're mad that I stopped playing along." She tried to soften her tone, switching to mother martyr mode. "Sweetheart, families aren't perfect, but shutting people out forever? Isn't that a little extreme?" Extreme was when Delia invited her ex-boyfriend's dog to her wedding, but not me. She paused. That dog was a therapy animal. I stared. "I'm gonna need therapy after this conversation." She started crying. "Real or not, I didn't care." "Dean, please. Your siblings are devastated. Jasper hasn't slept. Kip is stressed. Delia's, well, she's spiraling. You don't understand how much they love you." "No," I said, calm and cold. "I understand exactly how much." Then I walked to the door and held it open. "You can leave now." She stood there for a second, blinking at me like I'd spoken ancient Greek. Then she walked out slowly, like she was hoping I'd stop her. I didn't. 10 minutes later, I got a text from Delia. "Mom said you threw her out. You're disgusting. Hope your wedding flops." I blocked her, and then I blocked Kip and Jasper and Mom, all of them. It was like scrubbing mildew from a shower. Ugly, overdue, but satisfying. Lila walked in and found me deleting numbers like I was purging ghosts. She didn't ask questions. She just hugged me. "This is war now," I muttered into her shoulder. She pulled back. "No, Dean. This is a revolution. You're just the first one to escape the cult." God, I love her. But of course, the cult didn't stop. A week before the wedding, I got an anonymous envelope in the mail. No return address. Inside was a single printed sheet. "Forgiveness is godly. Resentment is poison. Think of your father. He'd be ashamed." My hands shook. Not from pain, from rage. They brought Dad into this? My father, the one person who always saw me, who'd sit through my entire 6th grade science fair presentation twice just because I was nervous. He was the only one who never played the exclusion game, and now they dared weaponize his memory to guilt-trip me. I didn't cry. I walked to the trash and shredded the letter piece by piece. Then I looked at Lila and said, "We're gonna have the best damn wedding this state has ever seen. And we would, without them, because I was done begging for love from people who only noticed my absence, never my presence." The morning of the wedding, I woke up shaking, not from nerves, from adrenaline. We'd made it. No more screaming texts, no guilt-tripping voicemails, just me, Lila, and the people we actually cared about. I looked out the window of our little Airbnb cottage, fog drifting over the hills, birds chirping like a damn Disney cartoon. It should have been perfect, but something in my gut was off. I chalked it up to wedding jitters. Every groom feels this, right? The sense that the universe is holding its breath, waiting for the next twist. I just didn't know the twist was already on its way. The venue was stunning. A small vineyard an hour outside town with string lights over a wooden deck and rows of wildflowers that looked like they'd been painted into the dirt by God himself. The staff buzzed around with calm precision. The caterers were early. The DJ was setting up. Lila's hair was a masterpiece. Everything was perfect, until it wasn't. I was adjusting my tie when my best man, Ray, burst into the groom's suite, his face pale. "Dude," he panted, "we've got a problem." "What kind of problem?" He hesitated. "Your sister is here." I blinked. "Which one?" "All of them." I almost laughed. "What?" "No. That's not possible. They weren't invited. They invited themselves." I pushed past him and stormed outside. And there they were. Kip in a smug beige suit, Delia in a floral dress and 6-inch heels, and Jasper wearing sunglasses like he thought this was the Grammys. They stood near the check-in table, talking to the coordinator like they owned the place. "What the hell?" I marched up. "What are you doing here?" Delia smiled like we were sharing a joke. "We decided to surprise you. You really thought we'd miss our baby brother's big day? You weren't invited." Jasper stepped in. "That's why it's called a surprise." I turned to the coordinator. "They are not guests. Escort them off the property." Delia gasped. "Dean, don't make a scene. Think of the photos." "I am thinking of the photos," I snapped. "Photos that don't include the three of you." Kip chuckled, low and condescending. "You're really gonna do this? Throw out your family on your wedding day?" I stared at him, dead in the eyes. "You already threw me out years ago. Consider this karma." He stepped closer, voice dropping. "You're making a mistake." "Noted," I said and turned to the staff. "Please remove them." The coordinator nodded, radioed security, and within minutes my siblings were being walked off the property like badly behaved guests at a wine tasting. Delia shrieked, "You're going to regret this, Dean!" "Not today," I called after her. My hands were shaking, but I felt powerful. This was the first time I stood up and didn't back down. I chose myself. I chose peace. And yet, they weren't done. The ceremony began an hour later. Lila walked down the aisle and my chest nearly burst open. She looked like something from a dream, glowing, graceful, fierce. I mouthed, "You're everything." And she smiled like she already knew. We said our vows under the arch, hands trembling, hearts racing. It was beautiful, raw, real. Then came the reception and the chaos. Halfway through dinner, one of the waiters brought me a note. On a folded napkin, it read, "You threw us out the front gate. Let's see how you handle the back door." My stomach dropped. I raced around the side of the venue with Ray, heart pounding in my ears. And there they were, my siblings, again. This time, they'd bribed one of the kitchen staff to sneak them in through the service entrance. Delia had changed outfits. Kip had a flask. Jasper was filming everything on his phone. "What are you doing?" I shouted. Delia smirked. "We're celebrating. You didn't think you could erase us, did you?" "You are trespassing. We're family," Kip barked. "You can't call the cops on your own blood." "Oh, I can. And I will." Jasper panned his phone toward me. "Go ahead, Dean. Show the world who you've become." "You mean someone with boundaries?" Within 5 minutes, the sheriff's deputy, yes, the venue called one, arrived and escorted them off. Again. This time with a warning and a threat of charges if they returned. As they left, Delia screamed, "You just married into poison." I waved. "At least she didn't bring her cat instead of me." And the crowd inside? They cheered. No, really. When I walked back in, the DJ cranked the music, people raised glasses, and someone actually shouted, "To family, the chosen kind." And just like that, the night went on. Laughter, dancing, cake, more dancing. Every moment a reminder that I'd built a life that didn't revolve around people who never wanted me in theirs. But deep down, I knew something was still coming. Because people like them, they never leave quietly. I thought the wedding sabotage was the grand finale, the public humiliation, the gate crashing, the sheriff. It felt like the climax of a bad reality show I never agreed to star in. But I was wrong. That wasn't the end. It was the intermission. The real performance came days later. Lila and I had just returned from our short honeymoon in Colorado. Fresh air, no phones, zero family drama. We were curled up on the couch, still half living in post-wedding bliss, when my phone buzzed, blocked number. I wouldn't have answered. But curiosity is a disease. Dean speaking. No response. Just a quiet rustle. Then a mechanical voice. You deserve to see the truth. Click. Weird? Yes. Creepy? A little. But nothing could have prepared me for what came next. 10 minutes later, an email arrived. No sender name, just an address that looked like a keyboard had thrown up. WeddingTruth33D blah subject, line, from your loving siblings. I opened it. There was one attachment, a video. Against my better judgment, I hit play. It started with a black screen and white text. We didn't get to speak at your wedding, so here's our speech. My stomach churned. The video cut to Kip. He was sitting in a leather chair, glass of scotch in hand, looking like some retired villain. Dean, he said, all serious and fake sincere. I know you think you've outgrown us, but you're still the same pathetic kid who couldn't sit at the grown-up table. Cut to Delia. Congrats, I guess. I hope Lila knows what she's marrying. A spiteful, angry man who thinks burning bridges makes him strong. Then Jasper. You're not strong, you're scared. You push people away before they can reject you like a coward. This marriage? It's just another wall. I sat there frozen. Lila leaned over and hit pause. Why are you watching this garbage? I don't know. She looked at me. Dean, this is psychological warfare. She wasn't wrong. The video kept going, an edited montage of our childhood home videos, carefully selected to humiliate me. One clip showed me crying after losing a toy. Another had me falling off a tricycle. Delia's voice narrated over it. Dean always had trouble keeping up. Then Kip again, smiling cruelly. We forgive you, Dean. Even if you can't, forgive yourself. I nearly threw the laptop. It ended with the words, one day you'll realize you needed us more than we ever needed you. I slammed the laptop shut. I couldn't breathe. Lila sat next to me, speechless. That's when I cracked. All the rage I'd buried for years erupted like a volcano. I stood up, shaking, yelling into the air like I could reach them through walls. And Wi-Fi signals. They filmed a hate speech video as a wedding gift? Who does that? They're broken, Lila said gently. They need you to be the failure. Otherwise, they have to look at themselves. But it didn't help. It was like the video planted a virus in my brain. I started doubting myself. Was I the villain? Was this revenge or just bitterness? Had I really moved on? That night, I didn't sleep. I kept seeing their faces, those smug, practiced expressions. I kept hearing their voices like poisoned lullabies. The next morning, I tried to delete the video, but it was already out there. Jasper had uploaded it anonymously to YouTube. Title? Estranged Brother's Wedding. What really happened? They turned my wedding into content. Lila found it first. It has over 4,000 views already. Dean, people are commenting. I pulled it up, heart pounding. The comments were a mix of strangers saying, wow, Dean sounds like a narcissist, and others saying, this family is toxic AF. I didn't care about the strangers. I cared that they'd taken my story, my boundary, my healing, and repackaged it as an attention grab. They were winning, and I was losing my mind. Lila turned to me. You need to fight back. I don't want to start a war. She grabbed my shoulders. Dean, you're already in one. You just haven't started shooting yet. She was right. I was done playing defense. They wanted to turn this into a show? Fine. But I was rewriting the damn script. I never thought I'd become a viral sensation, let alone over my own wedding trauma. But thanks to my siblings' masterpiece of manipulation, the video gift had now hit 10,000 views. The comment section was a cesspool. Dean sounds like a petty loser. At least his siblings cared enough to show up. Imagine uninviting family and still playing the victim. I didn't reply. Not yet. But I was watching. Lila was pacing behind me, fists clenched. We need to destroy this, sue them, hack the channel, something. No, I said, my voice calm for the first time in hours. We need to flip it. She stopped pacing. Flip it how? I leaned in. They made me the villain in a fake story. So I'm going to show the internet who they really are. And that's when I remembered something. Kip, drunk, at his engagement party years ago. He'd been bragging about a private group chat between him, Jasper, and Delia. Just us, he slurred. The real siblings. The unfiltered stuff. Way too spicy for the family group thread. I'd been drunk too, and I'd laughed it off, but he'd shown me the name Untouchables. And I knew Kip. He never deleted anything. He changed phones every 6 months, but he synced everything to cloud storage, including messages. Kip used to brag that his Google Drive had blackmail on everybody. It was a joke. Until now. I texted Ray, my best man and a cybersecurity consultant, and told him I had a job. He showed up an hour later with his laptop and 2 Red Bulls. Tell me you're not joking, he said. We're breaking into Kip's drive? Not breaking in, I replied. Just opening a door he left wide open. It took 4 hours. But Ray did it. And what we found made my skin crawl. Screenshots, dozens, hundreds, private jokes between the 3 of them about my weight, my job, my mental health. Jasper. Dean's the reason antidepressants come with warning labels. Delia. If he dies alone, I call his Xbox. There was worse. Kip had recorded a voice memo bragging about the wedding sabotage plan. We'll show up, pretend to play nice, then spin the story. Even if he throws us out, it'll make him look unstable. Total win. I sat there, fists clenched, eyes burning. They had planned it. Everything. The gate crashing, the staged drama, the video. They wanted to provoke me, make me snap, paint me as the villain. And I almost let them. But now, it was my turn. Compiled a 10-minute highlight reel, screenshots, clips, voice recordings. Lila helped edit it, adding captions and timestamps. We titled it exactly what it was, The Truth Behind Estranged Brothers' Wedding, Exposing the Real Villains. I uploaded it at midnight. By morning, it had 3,000 views. By lunch, 20,000. And by dinner? The original video, their video, was removed, taken down for harassment and targeted abuse. Comments started flooding our post. Holy crap, Kip is evil. This is what gaslighting looks like. I was on their side. Now I want to punch Jasper. It went viral. Lila and I watched it all unfold from the couch, popcorn in hand, like it was Netflix. But the best part? An anonymous tip sent the video to Kip's employer, a high-end law firm. Apparently, bragging about harassment on a recorded voice memo violates their ethics policy. Kip was suspended, then fired. Delia's part-time marketing gig tanked when her clients pulled out after screenshots surfaced on Twitter. Wouldn't want my brand tied to cyberbullies. And Jasper? His fancy podcast lost sponsorships. The episode count stopped updating. He went silent. The untouchables became the unemployables, and I didn't even lift a finger. The internet handled everything. I just posted the truth, then sat back and watched justice do her slow, delicious dance. But just when I thought it was over, I got a call. From a number I hadn't seen in 5 years. My father's brother, Uncle Rick. I answered, unsure what to expect. His voice was rough. Dean, I saw the video. All of it. Yeah? He sighed. I have something you need to see. Something about your father and your siblings. My stomach flipped. What do you mean? I should have told you years ago, but after what they did, you deserve to know everything. What are you talking about? There was a pause. Then, 5 words that changed everything. Your dad left you something. I met Uncle Rick at an old diner off Route 9. The kind with cracked vinyl booths, watery coffee, and a waitress who called everyone Hon. He slid an envelope across the table like we were exchanging state secrets. This, he said quietly, should have been yours the day your dad died. My throat tightened. What is it? He looked tired. Your father's second will. Second will? He explained. After my dad was diagnosed, he made some revisions to his estate plan. The original will split everything evenly between the kids. Kip, Delia, Jasper, and me. But after some conversations, he changed it. He knew, Rick said. He saw how they treated you, how they iced you out of everything. He didn't say much. Your dad never did. But he made sure you'd be okay. I opened the envelope with trembling hands. Inside was a copy of the revised will, signed and notarized. Everything. The house, the savings, the vintage car he rebuilt with his bare hands, every cent of his estate, left to me. One line stood out. "In your dad's neat handwriting, because Dean was the only one who ever made me proud." I broke. Right there in that booth, next to cold toast and a broken napkin dispenser, I cried for the man who never got to see me become the version of myself he helped shape. Rick placed a hand on my shoulder. "He wanted you to live free, unburdened." And, for the first time, I felt it. Free. I didn't plan to tell my siblings, but fate, she's got a dark sense of humor. 3 weeks later, I got served. Delia was suing me for defamation, emotional distress, and loss of income. Unbelievable. They tried to destroy my wedding, doxed me online, posted edited videos calling me a coward. Now they wanted to sue? My lawyer laughed. "This'll be fun, but it gets better, because in their lawsuit filing, Delia claimed she was an equal beneficiary of her father's estate." Oops, that's when I dropped the bomb. My lawyer submitted the revised will into public record. One news blog picked it up, then another. Within days, headlines popped up. "Viral wedding drama ends in will shock. Family bullies left with nothing after father's secret move." They got dragged. Hard. Comments tore them apart. "You tried to ruin his wedding and steal his inheritance?" Clown behavior. "Your dad knew. He saw who you were. Good for him." Delia dropped the suit in under 72 hours. Not even a sorry. Kip went dark online. Jasper deleted his podcast. Delia posted a vague story about stepping away from social media for mental health, complete with a photo of her by the ocean. Boo-hoo. Meanwhile, I stood in the empty driveway of my dad's old house, holding the keys. It was quiet, peaceful, mine. I walked through each room, touching the walls like they were memories. The garage still smelled like oil and pine. And on the workbench, a note. Yellowed. Folded. Dean. For the car. Finish what? We started. I love you. Dad. I swear I felt him there. Not a ghost, a presence, a validation. He knew, all along, and he left me not just with stuff, but with choice, with dignity, with a voice louder than all their insults combined. A year passed. Lila and I started renovations on the house. We turned the garage into a studio for her photography. I got the car running again, engine roaring like it had been asleep, waiting for me. I never spoke to my siblings again. No letters, no calls, no reconciliation montage. They had chosen to erase me, then rewrite me. And now, I was the author. The truth had gone viral, not for fame, not for likes, but because people were tired of pretending blood equals loyalty. Sometimes family is forged, not born. Sometimes the loudest "I love you" is who shows up, and sometimes revenge is just peace with better lighting. One night, as the sun dipped over the trees, I sat in that car, engine idling, windows down, Lila laughing on the porch, and thought they tried to ruin me with a video. But I finished the story with something better, my life, and I like the ending. A lot. And here it is, the finale of today's story. Did everything turn out as you imagined, or did it end unexpectedly? I'd love to hear what you think. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and let's dive into the discussion together. If this story kept you in suspense, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't signed up yet, what are you waiting for? This is your chance to join an incredible community where exciting new stories unfold every day. Click the subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay up to date. Thanks for your attention and see you on your new adventures.